With it being only a week left until MusicalCon 2023, I thought that I'd give my top tips if you're attending MusicalCon. I attended last year, and these are just the things that I've gathered from the experience and things that I would change what I did last year compared to this year. So I really hope this helps some of the first time goers to MusicalCon, or even people who went last year and want to change how they did it or get some tips for this year. Make sure you comment down below what you're doing at MusicalCon, what day you're going, and how excited you are for it. So MusicalCon has been told that it's going to be bigger and better this year, which is very, very exciting. So please remember that all my tips are based off upon my experience last year. So some might not be as prominent this year because they may have changed a couple things. Number 1 is that MusicalCon holds loads of workshops, stage door experiences, talks, masterclasses, and competitions. Everything you can think of is at MusicalCon this year. But do remember that some of these things you do have to book in advance to be able to do, and they do cost quite a bit of money. For example, any workshops, masterclasses, stage door experiences, or competitions you must have booked prior to the day. Differently with the competitions, they have already chosen who they're going to take into the heats rounds and who is going into the final for each of them, so there's no way that you can apply for these this year, but they can come out for next year. If you haven't booked any workshops or masterclasses, I would highly recommend that you go onto the MusicalCon website and do so, because the masterclasses and workshops do sell out very quickly and are definitely well worth the money. Especially with once you've walked around MusicalCon, once you've seen everything, the only things you're really there for then is the workshops, news shops, and the things that are on the main stage. And the workshops are part of the best thing to be able to meet and work with some of your favourite West End stars. You can also meet them and get an autograph and a photograph with them. Last year, I did a stage door experience of Lauren Byrne from Matilda, Six, and Bad Cinderella. And this is what I got. I got the photograph of me and Lauren, and then her signature in this corner, so I would say it's very well worth the money. My next top tip is please make sure that you bring money to the convention, because there are so many small businesses dotted around the convention, but make sure that you also bring spare cash for this as well, because a lot of the businesses will only take cash. My next tip is please don't be afraid to cosplay. Last year I turned up to MusicalCon in normal wear and a musical hoodie, and I definitely regret it. I wish that I went in my Veronica cosplay, because everyone around you is cosplaying and you feel like you're missing out on the fun a little bit. Please don't feel ashamed if you don't want to cosplay. That is completely your choice. But if you're a bit iffy about cosplaying and you don't know whether you should or not, I say go for it and don't be ashamed. Everyone there is in the same boat as you, and everyone is going to absolutely love your costume. No one is going to judge you there. And if you are thinking of cosplaying to the convention, please comment down below what you're thinking of cosplaying as. I'm really, really intrigued to know. Along with cosplaying though does come the thing of people will want to take photographs with you if they enjoy your cosplay. Now please be aware that this is completely normal for conventions like this, but if you do not feel comfortable in this, do not feel afraid to say no to these people. But also don't be afraid to ask people to take photographs with them, but please respect if they do say no and let them keep their personal space. And if you do enjoy cosplaying, make sure you go and check out the cosplay competition that is on the Sunday on the main stage. My next tip is check the scheduling of the event, otherwise you're going to miss key things that you may want to go and see. Say if your favourite show is performing on the main stage but you want to go and see a talk as well, you need to check the schedule to know when to be at the main stage and when to be at the talk, so that way you're not missing out on anything that you really, really want to see going on. Likewise, you can go and find the schedule for MusicalCon online on the MusicalCon website. One thing that I did not do last year that I really, really regret doing is taking a bag. Taking a bag will be your best friend. There is so much things that you want to buy, so much freebies that you get, that the bag will be your best friend. I was so lucky that I got a freebie bag on the second day, so I didn't have to carry around everything. But please, please do bring a bag, because there'll be stuff like your phone that you want to carry around. If you've brought a jumper, you want to put it in your bag. It gets a lot walking around that convention all day without a bag. It goes without saying that everything should go inside that bag. So make sure that you do bring a bag and you pack it accordingly, and keep some spare space just in case you get freebies. Please make sure that you are wearing comfortable shoes to the convention, because it does take a lot of effort to walk around all day, and I know my feet were hurting in trainers last year. Likewise, if your cosplay does need a particular uncomfy pair of shoes, feel free to wear those, but I would say bring a spare pair just in case you want to change out of them or get a little bit of a break from your high heels, from your Six cosplay, for example. Or even if you're doing workshops, sometimes doing workshops in a pair of heels aren't the best option. So please make sure that you bring shoes that are relevant towards your workshop. For example, I'm doing a 42nd Street tap workshop this year, so I need to bring my tap shoes. Talking about packing, please make sure that you bring your own water to the convention. Not saying that they do not provide food and drink for you, it is just extremely expensive. liquids, and it gets very, very hot in the convention, I remember from last year, that you will need your water, especially if you're doing dance workshops or even singing masterclasses. So bring water, bring any drink that you want, and bring 2 or 3 if you want. I would just say that you need to stay hydrated at this convention because it is a long day and it's very, very hot in the room. Likewise with water, please make sure you pack your own lunch, your own snacks and your own food, or you leave the convention to go and get food. Not saying that there's not food in the convention, but as I remember last year, it was very, very expensive and it did not cater everything that you'd like. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be the same this year, but please just be prepared for that maybe there's not going to be as many vegetarian options as you'd like. There is a lot of different cuisines there, but they are very, very expensive. So keep that in mind, bring spare money for it, or bring your own food. Or there is a Costa outside, but I remember I went to Costa and I got myself a cheeky little sandwich. So you can literally just leave the convention, get food and come back. Don't feel afraid to leave the convention and come back in. You do get a stamp on your hand so you can be let back into the convention again. Mainly for my cosplaying friends, please make sure that you bring a spare change of clothes, especially if you're going to a workshop. For example, I'm going in a big ball gown for one of the days and I will not be doing my Newsies workshop in that ball gown. So I'm going to change out of it into something a little bit more comfortable to make sure that I can do my workshops. Or even if you get a little bit uncomfortable in the things that you're wearing, you can change into it for a little bit of breathing time, and if you want to, you can change back into it again. This is for all my friends that don't deal very well with a lot of loud noises. Musical Con can get extremely loud. There are different workshops that are in separate rooms, but you can hear everything that's going on to them because they're on a mic system as well over the main stage. There's thousands of different voices, thousands of different music coming from everywhere, so it does get very, very loud. Anything that's going to help you with listening, please make sure you bring it. Bring ear protectors if you need it. I do remember last year there was a quiet space that you can do, so if you need to, please do feel free to use that, or even feel free to leave the convention and take some time and come back in again, because it does get extremely, extremely loud, as musical theatre people do. Don't be afraid to make friends at this convention. That is what the convention is there for. It is to make friends with the similar interests as you. There's so many people I've seen on Instagram who cosplayed as things as Six or Les Mis who have made about 12 different friends because they've all share the same love for the same musical. And there are fan meet zones to go and meet fans of the musicals that you love. So please don't feel afraid to make friends, because they could be, heaven knows, the next big West End star and your friend for life. Now you are going to see some theatre influencers walking around, or even some of your favourite West End stars. Please do not feel afraid to ask them for a photo or to talk to them, because they are the friendliest people you will ever meet. But please be aware that if they do say no, to respect their wishes, and that not everything is going to be a yes. Just be aware that people do have their boundaries and leave them with those boundaries. And that's all my tips, Musical Con 2023. If I think of any more, I will put them on my Instagram. And if you have any questions about them, please do message me on Instagram, because I loved last year's convention. I was there from the start to the very finish. So I will see you guys in my next video, which will be very, very soon. Bye guys.